What is up, everyone? How is everyone doing? We're talking to absolutely no one, but don't worry. This is the first episode of the H-Cast. My name is Quinnton. Everyone else is in here. We're going to do introductions. Let's get it. What's up, Grant?
I'm going first.
Doing?
No, let me go first.
I have a list. Fuck off.
Fuck.
Grant, this is Grant. Who are you, dog?
I'm Grant. That's me.
All right, bet. That's good enough. Next is up is Chris. Chris, who are you, dog?
I'm a support main. My answer.
Next up on the list, my boy Glides. What's up, Glides?
Hey, what's up with it, homie? Gang, 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 gang.
Not gonna plug your stream, your YouTube.
Oh well, I can't plug my YouTube because certain events going on.
We'll plug your stream.
Not plugging my stream because I don't stream because internet. So you know what, dude? I'm gonna plug my Snapchat right now. It's actually the real. Wait, hold on. Come back to me. I forgot it.
All right. Next up is the resident grill of the chat. We got Best Grill, the moderator. We got Jordan. Jordan, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm the moderator for the H-Cast. You can find me on Twitch at Blueberry Cupcakes. And yeah.
Are you sure that's your Twitch?
That is my Twitch, Blueberry Cupcakes.
Are you positive? I'm pretty sure it's Blueberry Scones.
Is that enough? No, Blueberry Scones is my League of Legends.
No. You sure about that?
Yes.
We'll fix that for next time. Anyways, and of course, last but not least, it's your boy, the best boy. It's Quinnton.
He's gay.
You just introduced yourself twice.
I know I did, but it was on the list of introductions. Fuck off, dude. We're doing it live.
Okay.
All right, boys.
We're doing it live.
This is the explanation of the podcast.
Instagram is the real glides. Gang, gang.
Gang, let's go.
Well, there you have it. All right. Opening statements. The explanation of the podcast. What are we doing here? We're talking. We want to dumb shit, video games, politics, movies, not music because you're all degenerates.
Whoa, K-pop is fog, alright, dude. Look, calm down.
If you
Just
disrespect
because
Playboy,
I listen to stuff that makes me sound like an edgy teenager doesn't mean.
Look, I'm just saying, new album for Akmu is kind of fog, and I've been having it on repeat for like the past 2 weeks.
Anyways, let's just jump right into the news, all right? Let's just get right into the news. So our first ever topic, we're talking about, that's it. That's right. Motherfucking League of Legends.
Worst game in history. Let's go.
The first thing we're going to go in the same order that we went. We're going to do the introduction to how much you've played and your experience. When did you start? What role did you play? And who do you main? Those are basically some good questions to answer. So Grant, go ahead. Your introduction into League of Legends.
I play mid. I main Zoe.
that man was a deer in the headlights.
When did you start playing?
Oh fuck.
I don't know either.
Shit. March 2018.
I mean, you don't have to give like a specific.
Yeah,
month,
we don't need it down to a science, dog. We just need a couple years here.
I don't know what day. I don't know what hour. I don't know what minute or second.
I think I created my account at 2:50 p.m. I think it was a Saturday night. I'm not too sure on that.
All right, so we got Grant over here, who's a main Zoe. All right, Chris. I mean, we all know, but let the audience know what's your experience.
All right,
in League of
so
Legends.
I have 1,000 games of League this season. I started playing probably about a year ago. I play support. I'm like a Thresh and Leona main for right now. Yeah.
All right, respectful. Glides / Hunter, I suppose.
Alright, what's up? It's Glide/Hunter. Okay. I'm gonna link my Instagram one more time, the real Glides, okay? And then the YouTube, it's just Glides. There's no videos right now, but there will be shortly, so subscribe. Alright. Basically, I'm a top main, and I play Renekton, and I play other champs, but Renekton's the shit. So I play Renekton more.
Already bet.
Yup.
Jordan?
So I'm currently and I've been playing since 2016, and yeah, my main right now is G.
Right, that's a good 2-year distance. 2014, 2015, 2016. That's a good timeline. You know, we can get a good exact date right then and there.
Pretty accurate.
For me, I've been playing since I want to say 2011.
Boomer.
Yikes, boomer.
2011, I
Nah,
think.
you're trash,
What a
dude.
boomer.
Yeah, when I was a junior,
Garbage.
junior in high school, so 2011. I started
still
playing.
silver.
I think. Shut your bitch ass up, dog. I don't play. I don't play rank. This game's AIDS. Anyways, I actually stopped playing for a long time. But anyways, I think first game I started playing Nasus, but we're not gonna talk about that.
We don't care.
Shut your bitch ass.
Hey, I started playing
Dog.
Soraka.
I'm getting to my
Okay.
point. I'm getting to my point. My point is that I don't really have a role. I play pretty much anywhere. I guess I would mainly play jungle, but that's because you're all are trash and can't play jungle.
Yo, just because I can win a sport doesn't mean anything. Leave me alone.
A main, I don't have one, so I just play whoever fits the most. All right, that's our introductions. Let's get into the good juicy bits. We're gonna talk about the good. What is good about League of Legends?
It's addictive.
It's addictive. Yep.
It's not really good. But...
Riot is weed. That's it. That's
Riot
all I
is
got.
weed. That is true. I don't know.
Um,
I mean, I'd say they actually do a decent job of balancing 150 champions that he kind of put themselves in a hole for. It's just there's
Yeah.
some champions that stick out as broken, but most of them are actually pretty okay. I'd say
They
that.
do a much better job at balancing than most other games like
Yeah.
them. And most of those other games have less things to balance. So
Yeah. They just kind of added too many champions, so kind of sucks for them.
I'll be real honest, Chief. I can't find much good about.
Yeah, it's really hard.
yeah.
I like it.
The characters are pretty cool. The world's pretty cool.
Skins are cool.
Story's cool.
They got
Yeah.
skins.
The lore is
Everything-
really cool.
Yeah, dude. Everything
MMO
about
win.
like
MMO
besides the
win.
gameplay is cool. But yeah, that's really about it.
We should get to the bad.
Yeah,
Bad.
that was right up next. What's the bad? The bad. I want to preface. I want to preface.
Oh,
We have two different sections. We have the bad and the really bad. So
Ooh.
All right.
some of your champions are fucking busted.
Yep. We're getting that Pantheon nerf coming in hot. Thank the Lord.
Fix
Your
Talon's
shitty ass client.
Fix
Thank
Talon's
God, yeah.
stupid
Please
arm.
fix the client. Oh my god, it's been broken for years and they never do anything about it. I'm so tired of getting disconnected from a game because League sucks and then I can't reconnect. I don't want that. Please.
So my main bad, probably that there's too many fucking champions. I think there's way too many people to play, and there's way too many people to balance.
Nah,
I'd say that's really bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. I'd say it's really
I
bad.
like it. I like the amount of people. Some of
I
that.
think.
I honestly think with the way the game's structured that it needs more. The
Right.
more there is, the easier it is to balance for the way that they've set it up at this point.
Alright, Jordan, continue.
I don't know. I feel like okay, maybe I would agree with you if they didn't release, because there was a point in time when champions came out like every month.
Yeah.
Like back in like 2012, 2013, like champions were coming out like every month or two.
That's
like,
what.
shit was
Yeah,
insane.
that's why I would say it's really bad because
Damn.
all those champions were so stale. Now they can't change them anymore because they've been the same for so long,
they could
and now
rework
they're
them.
just useless.
They could rework them.
Yeah, but you know how long it takes for them to rework? Like 6 months.
Yeah, it takes them
at
a long
minimum.
time to rework because it's pretty much making a new
And
champ at
there's
that
like
point.
there's like 20 champs that they need to rework. They don't have that much time.
If they were to just hold off on making new ones and just work only on reworks for a year or two,
Yeah,
they could
they'd
do
be
it,
fine.
but I don't think they'll
Yeah.
do that because that could just... A lot of people won't like that. It'll make the
The
game
game would-
stale and it'll die
yeah.
even faster.
Yep.
Sorry, ass company.
Yeah. You mean a small indie company?
Hey, dude,
Yeah,
small
dude.
indie company.
Small indie company, Pog. You mean a company that's owned by a Chinese
They're
conglomerate?
just a small
Hey,
indie company.
Tencent.
Tencent, here we go.
Any other thing that's bad? Maybe the fact that they prioritize.
Creep block? Creep
I
block?
was gonna say
Creep block?
prioritize. Yeah, with that
Please.
too. But prioritize
Please.
creating skins rather than fixing the game.
Let me
Yeah.
walk through my own minions. Please. I just want to walk through my own minions, that's all.
I got one for really bad.
I have
I
one.
mean, we can go into the really bad because that's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
We can go straight into the really bad. All right, so what's really bad about League of Legends?
Oh boy, upcoming feature, Eternals. Oh man,
Oh yeah.
those are gonna be fun. Yeah, let's pay $10 to get how many enemies I have killed on these 3 champions. Yes.
Yeah,
What kind of fucking brain? Who came up with that idea? Who the fuck came up with that? Are you kidding me?
Seriously, who fucking did it, dude?
Can we can we talk
$10
about...
for tiny amounts of stats on champs? Why? Why is that a thing?
Can we talk about
Because the game is free to play and they try.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They make plenty of money from skins and events, and they know it. They make
They're
bank from pro games, and
they're
they
a
know it.
small indie company. They need all the money they can get. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Money so they can deal with that fucking lawsuit.
just let them make money. Okay.
Okay, so my thing with a really bad is how I feel what's really bad about this game is that in one patch you can absolutely destroy an entire lane. Remember back to 8.13 when 80 carries got absolutely fucking demolished.
Yeah.
Oh,
And didn't really
yikes.
get fixed until many
Oh,
patches
yeah.
later.
Oh yes.
And
Yeah,
one
it took them,
patch,
what, a year?
Yeah, in one patch, ADCs were just taken out of the fucking game.
Yep.
And it didn't make it any better that they kept nerfing ADCs.
Yeah,
after.
APT is coming in hot.
Like,
And their entire community was telling them, hey, can you revert these changes? And they said, you know, I think our community's wrong. We're hearing 100% of the people say we're wrong, but I think they're
Honestly,
wrong, you know?
Riot Keck
Yeah,
W.
we're
That's
right.
all
We're the
I have to
best.
say. Riot Keck W.
that's and I think another that's really bad. I think another really bad is when we get into the actual gameplay itself, when we start talking about a certain set of champions that follow under assassins.
Oh yes.
Oof, yikes.
Oh
God.
I love assassins.
Fuck assassins, dude.
Dude, they're so good.
As a prior ADC main, it's no longer an ADC. I really enjoyed, walking into a place and then getting absolutely decimated.
As a support main, I can feel that and just watch my ADC that I fed just get one shot. It's a great feeling,
I know
really
that's I know that's the whole point of an assassin is to be doing that, but it gets to a problem when the assassin is just like doing that to everyone and sustaining to high hell.
You mean our assassin meta right now?
Yeah, the whole point.
When
I feel
they
like
can dodge everything with no problem, like, yes, my name is Zed. Let me press R under tower and then just
Fuck.
W away. Haha.
Lol, got him. Skill.
Oh man, so my main another one. I mean, problems with the assassins is that I feel like the whole point of the assassins is that it's high risk, high reward.
Mhm.
Some of
There's
these
not a risk.
assassins are pretty fucking easy to play and
Can
they're
we
kind
talk
of
about-
very low risk.
My boy Talon,
Exactly.
who walks up at level 2 and kills
I
you without any
Talon.
risk ever.
Level 2
Yup.
talent.
Woo!
You better fucking be
Woo!
playing on your absolutely high
No,
level.
you
Not
can't. No one can get away from Talon at level 2. They have to make a mistake. It's nothing you can do in that level.
Yeah, the Talon has to be the one to
The
screw up.
Talon has to make a mistake. The other player just sits there and watches.
My problem with a lot of assassins is like because they're so mobile, their like survivability is like through the roof, right? So, for example, Zed, right? He can come in,
Oh my God.
destroy your backline, kill everybody, and then before the tank can even blink and do damage to him, tank would be able to, kill Zed, especially if they have like Thorn's Mail or something. Just leaves, right? Is so mobile to where they just fucking leave.
Well, that's kind of the whole point of the assassins, that they're highly mobile. But the thing is that so I understand when you're talking about assassins being high damage and highly mobile. My problem is sustainability. The fact that some of these fucking assassins can sustain like a full fucking team fight is
I think that's because they're highly. A lot of that has to do with being highly mobile, though. Because I've seen a lot of Zed players, especially, and a lot of Talon players. Like,
okay, Talon has a heal for no reason.
Yeah, Talon has
a heal for no reason.
But what they do is they leave the team fight, like Zed exits the team fight with the shadow, gets a little bit of health back, and then comes right back in.
Well, that's Zed, because Zed is targeting specifically one champion and then leaving.
Talon has a heal on his
Talon
bleed.
doesn't have to leave.
He can sit there in a team fight and never leave.
Talon will W in, probably hit most people, Q on probably the lowest person, then ult and then do a shit ton of damage.
Also, his W is a free crit, so that's really cool too.
His Q is free crit, not W. And the Q is only a crit if you're in melee range.
Yeah.
That's cool.
As you can tell, this chat does not like Talon. We do not like Talon. There are other assassins that are kind of aids. Obviously, Zed, Diana's.
Those champions, you at least have to get fed first. Talon, you don't.
Yeah.
Talon doesn't require that. But like Diana, you have to have some certain amount of skill to get fed before that, right? Zed, you definitely can get destroyed as Zed, 100%. You just get ganked. Talon, he's just gonna E over a wall when you try to gank him, and then he's gonna come at level 2 and kill you.
Yasuo mid right now, so that's cool.
You're playing League right now?
I'm playing League right now, and I'm playing Cassiopeia.
Why are you playing League? We're literally live doing a podcast. What the fuck?
Dude, ask me some questions.
You're supposed to
I'm live in the game.
Dude, we're talking about assassins right now.
Dude, I have nothing to talk about.
You could just wait and then
Dude,
I was gonna move on to something else.
Well, let's hear it.
Another
we should talk about assassins.
Another thing that I like have a real big problem with in League of Legends, I think they're really bad, and assassins are part of the problem on why this happens. Is there are a lot of older characters that don't get the reworks that they need, either visual or full kit rework, right?
Yep.
Because of assassins, right? We remade Katarina how many fucking times, right? We've remade Akali how many fucking times?
We remade LeBlanc. We remade LeBlanc, then reset her. Like what? Why?
Evelyn has had like 3 remakes.
Yep.
It took them forever to remake Galio, and I mean,
Galio
had a good remake for a while. He had a good remake for a while, right?
Yo, Galio's a mage, though.
I think he's talking about... Oh, you can go.
What I'm saying is it took forever to get Galio even a visual rework. Let's talk about Zillion, who looks like a garbage can.
Zillion straight up.
He looks like he just T-poses all over the place.
This man is like made out of 3 polygons, straight up. It's disgusting.
That boy's like dodecahedron.
Yeah, Zillion's pretty bad. Okay, so I think that not all assassins.
And also, if you rework Zillion, guess who gets countered? Assassins, because he can press R.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think not all assassins are bad. Like I think Pike, so he's support assassin. I think he's okay.
Pike is fine.
He's annoying to fight, but he's okay.
Yeah.
So many people complain about Pike. I hate that. He's not like I understand. Complain about assassins that are hard to play and that are easy to play. Not Pike. Pike is hard to play.
I think
another pseudo assassin that I think is okay is Ari. Ari is a pretty bursty person.
I hate Ari. Fuck her stupid.
She's a mage assassin, 100%. She's a mage assassin, 100%. Well, same with LeBlanc. LeBlanc.
She plays like an assassin, but builds like a mage.
LeBlanc is definitely an assassin. I don't care what anybody says. She is an assassin.
LeBlanc is for sure an assassin.
They're
you're
both
doing that much fucking damage and are able to escape that. So I was gonna say is that I think the quintessential assassin is probably Akali because she's super high risk, but she's also super high reward.
She also is
really good
super hard to play, which is what assassins should be.
Yeah, assassins should be really hard to fucking play. Why is Talon? You press 2 buttons and you're dead. Like hello,
you press 2 buttons level 2 and get a free kill. Like
You know who's a really good assassin? I think we're talking shit about all these assassins, but Shaco is a really good assassin.
Yeah,
I think
Shaco too.
Yeah, yeah.
he's one of the ones that are a little bit easier to balance, right? I think a really
Well, he's
big
getting a full
problem-
rework
Yeah.
in 920. He's getting an entire, like, almost entire rework.
Well, I mean, a problem with a lot of the assassins is like a lot of times they're so hard to balance, right? It's either you make them too crazy, or
Yeah.
you completely throw them into the dirt to where
Yeah,
they're
you're not
unplayable,
wrong.
right?
Yeah, yeah. That's like
that's
a
why they
5
have to
damage
That's true.
rework them.
difference. That's a straight up 5 damage difference too. Every single time
Yeah.
you do the 5 damage difference, they could just destroy an assassin, which makes it really hard to balance.
Oof. I was gonna say something about assassins, but I kind of forgot. So I want to move on to something else other than assassins. And another problem about League of Legends. Let's talk about the bruisers.
Oh yes.
Oh yikes!
You said bruisers?
Yes.
Oh
sir.
no, they're even worse, honestly.
Let's
Nemo was
talk-
fun.
Oh,
Let's
that was
talk-
great.
Let's talk about the bruisers, because bruiser meta has been absolutely insane for years. I remember when this game was called League of Bruisers, because that's how insane it was. Like, bruisers have kind of been dominating this game for a long time. Like, assassins are very annoying to fight and kind of unfair at times, but a bruiser like Aurelia,
Oh, nerf Aurelia, please.
literally
Nerf Aurelia.
almost impossible to kill at times, is fucking
I
insane.
need the Aurelia nerfs. No, don't worry, they got rid of 5MS.
Whenever we talk about this stuff, we're actually, I think, missing the biggest problem about League of Legends. And if they looked at this, right, we could really fix both the bruisers and the assassins. Right now, League is literally just focused on patching stuff and fixing stuff for their pro scene. Like 99.9% of their community isn't fucking pro, right?
Yeah.
Why are they doing it just for their pro scene? Can
So-
I not
The
enjoy the
money.
Can
How
I
they
not
make
enjoy
money.
the game?
Yeah. So my theory about this game is that because this game used to not really be this way, right? Back when I started off in like 2011 to like 2013 when I was playing in high school, this game was not this way. Like you could like do like weird shit and it'd be okay. Right nowadays, the reason why I think that the game is this way is because again they're focusing on working for
Riot
pro
is
scene.
Riot
They're
is
also-
forcing a meta. 100%.
Yeah,
Riot
they're
is
also
forcing a meta.
Yeah, they're also focusing on the one shot meta because the one shot meta is what makes what makes
Like,
highlight
sourcing
videos.
fun. Yeah, it makes
it makes the highlight
Yeah.
rails. It makes the oh shit, I can't
it makes
believe that
the,
happen at
it
Worlds. Oh
makes
my
the
god.
fake or Akali plays cool, and it makes all that type of stuff cool that then in turn generate money for them.
Yeah, because how do you get people to
Mhm.
play? You show off all these clips and people are interested in playing the game, and it's like, oh shit, I want to play that. I want to do that. So make it a one shot meta, and then we're gonna play more, right? But then
Yeah.
it really sucks once you actually start
Yeah, because
playing the game and you play a role like ADC or support, and you're the one getting one shot, and you're like, yo, what the fuck is going on, dude?
honestly, I think one thing Riot has done, at least in my opinion, good, is they have made supports in a really good place. Supports have been in a good spot for a very long time.
I
I
would
agree.
agree.
Supports is the only playable role right now. Straight up, it is the only playable role without you just having to deal with straight cancer.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, you have shit like
mean,
Veigar
Top's not that
and
bad.
Brand.
Well, and also, I think
We'll
League of
go
Legends-
back to that, Glides.
Yeah, well,
League of
Yeah.
Legends realized that they had supports in a bad place for a long time because really, supports.
oh
at
yeah,
the
I
very
remember when
beginning
supports
of the
were
game-
literally called ward bots. Straight up,
Yeah,
that's
they
all
were
could
just
do.
walking wards essentially, right? So
Yeah.
for a long time, and now I think also the like community has changed their perspective on supports. Like I know when I was a support main, so when I first started playing the game, I was a support main until I started playing with Chris. Chris is a support main, so I
Yeah.
decided to be really nice and move to ADC.
Yeah.
And so, I remember being a support main and like people would just shit on you. Like even if you were making little mistakes, they would be so mean to you, especially your ADC. And now, like if an ADC is really like mean to you, the majority of the team will back you up. Is what I feel. Like what I was getting at the end of it.
Yeah, I feel that.
I feel that. I agree with that. My main problem with supports is that
Get the mages out of support role.
I was gonna say that.
Leave.
Get the mages out of
Leave.
the support lane.
And the thing is, the people who play that, they understand. They aren't playing support. They're playing a mage to carry their ADC. They aren't
Well,
playing.
there's a reason they're mage support.
really-
It's because they can't play mid anymore.
Yeah.
Because of fucking assassins.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that I actually really like supports and the idea of supports and all of the actual support champions. Like a
that's
really
why-
good support is like insane, right?
Yeah,
but then
that's
when you
why
get
I play
a brand
Thresh.
who just presses
play
W
Leo.
and Q,
Yeah.
you get a Vagar who just fucking throws up his arena and just scaling the entire time.
You
Like,
play
it's
against
just
the
not-
Vel'Koz
A,
who
it's not
presses
fun
Q
to
and
play
R
with.
and you're dead.
And B, honestly, I don't think it's fun to play with. 'Cause
Yeah.
I like playing with a really good support because then like I feel good about that. I don't feel good about my support doing a shit ton of damage and taking all the kills. It's not fun to play with. But that's just me.
Yeah, that's why I
I
play Leona and Thresh, because they're actual support champions who have to rely on the ADC and they can get them fed instead of playing Vel'Koz and it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get 10 kills in lane and literally murder everybody in the game. I've done that too, but it's just not fun.
Okay. Quick side note: I'm on Mobifire, and I don't know what's going on with bot lane, but apparently Pike, Swain, Volibear, Ziggs, and
Oh yeah,
Shaco are considered bot laners.
yeah, because Volibear is mainly support because there's a
No,
huge thing of
The
as a
ADC role.
ADC.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
so
fuck?
Swain, Teemo, Pike, Shaco, Ziggs, Volibear, and I think that was it. But yeah, they're all in the ADC.
Okay, yeah, there's actually a thing like the pro players, like for all like the major pro player teams, they have been the ADCs have all been playing mages there. All of them. Sneaky spammed all of the mages bot lane. Reckless has spammed all of the mages bot lane. And that's all they've been doing. They have not been playing actual ADC spot in like the last 3 weeks.
This is why I believe 8.13, I think it's 8.13, but
Yeah.
whichever patch it was that fucked over ADCs was absolutely completely detrimental to them.
Yeah.
Because if you have fucking Pike, Swain, Ziggs, Volibear, Shaco in your ADC, there's something wrong with the game. Because that means
Oh.
all the actual ADCs are just like not even worth playing.
The interesting thing about that is if you follow pro scene, the only ones that have actually been played are Syndra. It's only been Syndra bot. And then you have to pair that with with what's it called? Tristana in mid or top. To then fill for that ADC role. Because honestly, Tristana's better mid or top, honestly, at this point.
ADC's mid is disgusting.
Yeah.
I agree.
Why are they so strong? I don't
Because-
get it. They're
Because
so
they face
weak bot lane, but so strong mid.
Because they face mages mid. So it's like, okay, yeah, you're dead.
All right, so I want to we're going to go back to the bruiser topic, but I also want to bring this over into the top lane topic. Because I feel like top
Yeah.
lane is essentially just the 1v1. It's like the pure 1v1, because we all know junglers are essentially constantly ganking mid.
Yep.
But that maybe later.
Foregoing bot and inting.
Top lane
That
is
too.
essentially just the pure 1v1. So everyone's going to need to be a little bit tanky, and everyone's going to need some sustain. So why is it that we have a champion who just got recently reworked, who's not only able to come out level 1, throw a max damage spear,
Your boy Pantheon.
but is also able to block not only
Pantheon's
all of
fun.
your attacks, but is also able to block turret shots.
I love
What
Pantheon.
kind of sense is this?
Yeah,
You know,
their
that-
hitting is cute, but
that used to be Poppy's ultimate, right? Old Poppy's ultimate was like something that would block damage from everything, including a turret shot. Can
Well-
we talk about how Old Poppy's ultimate is now not even his ultimate? It's just, what isn't it? A passive, right? Or
No,
is
it's
it
just
a W?
it's just an ability. I think it's just his
his fly in.
His ultimate's a fly-in.
yeah his
Yeah.
And it
Pantheon's
does
ultimate.
damage if it
Yeah.
hits
I'm
you.
talking about Poppy's old ultimate.
Oh,
She
Poppy's.
would stop damage, right?
I
Poppy's ultimate before the rework was something.
She
where
doesn't
could
have a
stop
thing that
all-
stops
She doesn't
damage.
have it. She doesn't have that anymore. All she can do is stop dashes.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is Poppy's old ultimate, right?
Mhm.
Her ultimate ability, her are
Mhm.
is now Pantheon's basic ability. Can
Yeah.
we talk about how OP that is?
Well, okay, but
Yeah.
you have to think about it this way. Pantheon still had that ability to do that. The difference is he could block 1 or 2 hits.
Yeah.
Now
And-
he can block it for like 1 to 2 seconds.
Yeah, and it was just his passive, so it would just
Yeah.
come up randomly, right?
Yeah.
Now he has a choice to be able to say, "I'm gonna block
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you're doing," and
Now-
and I'm also going to do damage to you
Yep.
at the same time.
Shots is my main benchmark.
To be fair, he
He
can
could
only
always
block
block
what's in
charge
front of him.
Yes.
But
He
the
cannot block
hitbox
anything.
is, like always, busted.
Yeah.
So 9 times
Riot
out of 10, when you
hitboxes.
hit him in behind, it'll still count as in front because Riot.
Right hitbox.
They're pretty
Alright.
good. Not-
Enough about Pantheon because I
Oh,
hate
why?
the absolute champion. Let's talk
Don't worry,
about
he's getting nerfed. So you got
let's,
that coming
let's,
in.
let's
9.20.
talk about another top champion. We are also part of the really bad. Let's talk about the good old boy, the boy who on release date crashed the server and they had to roll back the patch. Let's talk about our good old boy Darius.
Yes.
Ooh. I honestly think he's not that big of an issue. I think he's
I don't
honestly
think
never been
so,
an issue.
Darius.
And I think he's very easy to fight.
Darius needs to be gone.
I think Darius is fightable. I think he's definitely annoying in the top lane, but when he starts to group, I think he definitely gets weak. 100%.
Yeah, 1v1.
I think he's weak in general. He's just so damn easy to fight.
I think his 1v1s are definitely pretty strong, but his grouping phase I feel like is weak, which is
Yeah.
why he's not played in like pro play and then, like higher levels and that type of stuff so much.
And he's really vulnerable to Boric and the Executioner's calling.
Yeah.
That goes into Mortal Reminder, right? Those two
Mhm.
items together, like, kill him in a couple of seconds.
And you could always go Executioner's top. It's
Yeah.
not a bad
Yep.
pick.
We're talking about champions. I want to talk about this Yasuo I'm facing, dude. It's
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to
Yasuo.
we will get to Yasuo. Okay,
Buddy's a
Yasuo.
level below me.
So,
I'm 2
I'm
kills
just-
up on him, and he just can destroy me.
Yeah,
Doesn't
just-
Yasuo.
make any sense.
I'm just going over all the things that we right. So since we're kind of mixed on Darius, let's move on to another champion that we're very heated about. Let's talk about
My boy?
Let's talk about Garen.
Oh, Garen. Okay.
I
Oh,
don't
Garen.
think
Garen, I think Garen is a perfectly fine spot. I think he's actually
Yeah.
kind of weak, in
He's a
which
spin to
case...
win.
I
Yeah,
agree. I
he-
do
he
think
is-
he's kind of weak.
He is definitely a brainlet, alright? 100% a brainlet champion, alright? But that's how he's been designed. He was designed for new players to come in the game, pick up Garen, and learn the game through Garen.
Well, yeah.
So, like, he has to be kind of a brainlet champion for that, because you need to focus on everything else around the map rather than what you're doing.
Okay, can we talk
So-
about a champion that really is
Okay,
just
wait,
hit a
hold on,
couple
'cause I
buttons?
have one thing to
We
say.
did. We talked about Talon.
We talked about more. My main thing about Garen, I feel like they gave him too much.
Yeah, he does
he's
have a
kind
lot.
of super all around. Like they gave him kind of everything.
Yeah.
His
He's
Q,
a
Yeah,
jack
he
of
is
all
overloaded.
trades.
his
He
Q
is definitely
makes him
overloaded.
move faster, does an attack that does damage, and silences you. His
Yeah.
W gives him more armor, more magic
Tenacity,
resist,
armor.
tenacity,
Yeah.
all that. His E does damage over time. He also can crit, and he also moves quicker. And his R is just a straight execute, and then his passive too, which means he heals a lot. I feel like they gave him way too much
Yeah.
because there are easy champions in this game like Ash, who has pretty
Oh, Ash is
pretty-
busted.
a pretty standard ability set, but it's understandable because all you need to do is walk
right
up,
click.
press Q,
Right, Q, right click.
But like Garen, he just has everything, and I feel like if they want to make him an actual champion, I feel like they need to roll some of that stuff back.
I mean, I think, and I haven't actually looked at the new rework, and the new rework's really interesting because there's so much stuff that changed, and I didn't play Garen enough to even understand what's actually changing. So, I'm not gonna talk on the new rework because it's like I don't understand that. Same thing with like Shaco rework. I don't understand enough about Shaco to see all those changes and say, oh, this is better or worse for him. Can't.
I could agree. All right, next.
All right.
Well, hold on. I got one more champion.
Are we going in?
No. I don't think anyone's gonna know what this is, but as soon as I say it, everyone's gonna know. let's talk about our good old boy, the best boy. Let's talk about Jax.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh, you mean the champion who can be 0-5 and then come back at level 12 and
That's
kill
what I
a
was
whole
gonna
team?
say. His comeback potential is just disgusting.
Yeah, no, Jax is the only champion in the game who can go 0-5 and then come back and kill your entire team. It's true.
Jax I feel like Jax is the definition of a headache. Because it's just like I just don't think Jax is really that fair of a champion. Like,
No, he's not.
the only way that you can really be bad at Jax is if you're like really bad at the game.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a little bit of knowledge with Jax, you're gonna fucking kind of decimate. Because what do you need to do? Press E, you dodge all of it. Press W, you're about to do it in powered attack.
Alright.
You jump on someone.
Can we
Yep.
preface this? Can we preface all of this, right, with the fact that we're silver and gold, all right? So
Sure.
there is
Yeah.
some stuff we are going to be wrong about, and I'm saying this for the sake of the
Some
podcast.
there's a
because-
lot that we're gonna be
yeah,
wrong
there's
about.
a lot of stuff we're going to be wrong about because we're saying all this, and it kind of sounds like, oh, we know, but we don't. We know
Sure.
what we know. So I just want to preface that real quick because
Sure, but we're coming at this with
yeah.
our opinions. I feel like it's a preface that basically our opinion,
Yeah.
how we feel about the game.
No, I just want to do that because if people see this, they're gonna look at us and be like, oh, they're so bad they can't even play around that champion. Like, oh, it's like, no, we're silver and gold. All right, we're not good at the game.
Sure.
Can we?
I look at.
talk about? Oh wait, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I look at it as like how I play the game, which I'm like, okay, do I have fun against this champion? Like, if I'm playing this game champion, how much fun am I gonna have? And every time I see Jax and have to fight Jax,
No,
it's not fun. It's just not fun. Every time I see Darius and have to fight Darius, it's just not fun. Like, there are certain champions I'm like, oh, okay, I can have fun with this champion. Right? Like a Gangplank. I have fun with the Gangplank. If I see a Quinnton on the team and he's top lane or I'm playing top lane, I might rage quit because fuck that champion. And Quinnon's okay. Like, I feel like he's in a good
Yeah.
place, but that
I think
motherfucker's
he's-
absolutely annoying to fight.
I
against.
think he is definitely weak. I would honestly say Kinnon's weak right now, but he is definitely very annoying to fight in lane. He just sits there and pokes you. Can't.
But let's get to what Jordan wants to talk about. What do you got?
All right. Let's talk about the person that really only takes a couple buttons to win. Let's talk about Renekton.
All right.
What?
All right.
Ooh, okay.
All right. This is actually an interesting topic.
Okay.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so okay, Renekton's interesting. Renekton, I don't think there was an issue with him before. For instance, alright, our boy Glide's here. He's Renekton main, alright? I'm not gonna say he's a bad player, because he's not. He plays Renekton.
Better not.
He's also the only gold player, so you kind of can't. But, also, the main problem with Renekton is they kept buffing him. 3 patches in a row kept buffing him. He was in a perfectly fine spot 3 patches ago. But let's just keep buffing him. Let's make him even more broken. Or let's actually make him broken, even though he's already in a fine spot. And that's the thing on Riot Balance. Because they gave him the ability to break shields, so you can't even go into like a shield lane to beat him, which was the main way to beat him, right? People would just get shields and like play tank against him, and then he couldn't win. He was perfectly matched, and there was nothing you could do about it. And then they gave him to break shields, and then they buffed his damage ratios and gave him more damage. And now he just walks at people and kills them.
Oh, you can't forget the third buff. Doubled the amount of healing he gets.
Oh yeah, that too.
If you don't stop Renekton's early game, you don't win.
All right, guys, how do you feel about
Good luck stopping his early game if
Yeah,
you're
how
not
do you-
playing
how do
Alawi.
you feel about how do you feel about our gripes against Renekton? Like state your point as a Renekton.
Hold on, dude. I'm pentakill in fucking progress. Give me a second.
Alright.
This is why you don't fucking play a game.
Yeah.
with-
Dude, just give me a second, dog.
Also have another champion
Y'all can
that
keep talking.
I want
We can go
to
back.
bitch about after.
Okay, what were you saying?
All right,
Renekton.
How do you feel about what we said about Renekton?
Yeah.
And like our complaints about
I mean, he's really strong, but if you shut down his early game, like I said, he can't do anything.
But he can 1v2.
What, early game?
Yeah.
All game,
I mean,
honestly.
I can't, honestly, because I constantly am
The
ahead.
champion has the ability to 1v2. So it's like, what do? You send 3 people?
Okay, to be fair, most champions have the ability to 1v2, but you have to be really good. The problem with Renekton is you don't need most of your abilities to 1v2. You only
you
need
do.
like 1 to
You
2.
most definitely do.
I 100% disagree.
I mean, then play him more.
You stun one and then press Q and you just
must-
win the fight.
No, that's not how it goes.
It's how it's gone every time I've played them.
I mean, how many times have you played them?
3?
Okay, and
Maybe
I've played
4?
them like what? Hundreds.
200, 300.
Probably a lot more than 300 at this point. You're probably near 700, 800.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it might be reaching a little bit.
He only has 400k mastery.
Alright.
Like it's not 700.
There's
unless he's getting like D's.
there's two more champions, 2 more top laning champions that I want to talk about. So the first
All right.
is a good meme. Your boy Aatrox.
Can we buff Mordekaiser? Also that too.
Boy Aatrox. Okay, Aatrox pre-rework was great.
Yep.
It's fine. It's fun.
Yep.
Very interesting kit. Great. And then they reworked Aatrox.
Oh yeah, 3 revives.
And
3 revives. Let's go.
woo, Aatrox was pretty AIDS.
Oh, he was literally broken. Straight up broken. Nobody could beat Aatrox when he was first reworked.
Yeah. And
And then every patch since that, he's been hit over and over and over again. And now he's useless.
yep, and they just nerfed him a little too much. To the point
Yep.
where he can't do anything. And they're actually rolling it back in
Yeah.
2020.
And
But-
this, I feel like, okay, this shows more in the pro scene. Every single game, he was being blind picked or banned in top lane. Every single game after rework, and up till the point where he started getting nerfed a little bit, and then he started becoming a comfort pick. But the problem is, you gave us a champion, right? Gave top lane pros a champion, and said, okay, this is a good blind pick champion who can go into any lane and can win most of the lanes, right? And then they keep hitting him. But they hit him like after a year had already passed, so they're so used to playing that champion. Now he's useless and they're still picking him. And it's like, why? Because now they're picking him as a comfort pick, and now he's just inting lanes because of the fact that they're picking Aatrox. I don't get it.
So one of my main problems with Aatrox was when he came out, rework came out, and I played Aatrox, and I was like, "Is this Riven?" Because this really feels like they looked at Riven and was like, "Okay, let's do that, but make it a little bit more simpler."
Yeah,
That's how exactly how
I
I
mean-
feel about it. It's just like,
Well,
he's
he was
pretty
Riven
much just
2.0.
Riven
He
2.0.
is Riven 2.0. I feel like Riven's better than him at this point now.
I mean, I would
Yeah,
agree.
I
How much
agree.
he's been nerfed, 100% Riven's better than him. But he was
Riven's a
definitely like,
lot harder though.
yeah. Actually, Aatrox was like Riven 5.0. He just literally deleted everybody.
Aatrox do big damage.
Not anymore.
He's
Not
kind of
anymore.
weak now though.
Not anymore. You do nothing.
Kind of
man.
trash.
With his Q? Wait, what do you mean? What happened to him?
He's
Yeah,
been
nerfed.
nerfed
They
like
just
6
nerfed
patches.
him so hard that he's useless now.
They nerfed him
There's-
like 6 patches.
Have you
in a row.
noticed we don't play against any Aatroxes like at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't think anything happened to him.
No, he has been nerfed that many times to where the fact he's useless.
What? Wait, hold on. How does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Not
don't
play
know.
against a champion. Nothing happened.
Yeah. That means something did
I don't
happen
know,
to
I
make
don't
him
really
not
read the
play.
patch
I
notes
just-
like that.
It's just so weird because they got rid of his revive, and that was
Oh
kind of
yeah,
one
that
of his main
they
things was his
they
revive.
literally advertised him as a champion he could revive, who had a free revive, and then they got rid of it. They had to change his lore because they got rid of it. Like,
This is they're really bad because it's just like
oh,
some of the decisions that Riot Games makes.
if we
with some of
are
these
talking
champions are just
about
like-
really bad, can't we talk about how much Tom Kinch got hit 7 patches in a row? Leave the man alone, alright? This man just wants to be played bot lane. You first hit him with a 26-second cooldown on his W at level 1, alright? That's ridiculous.
All I'm
That's-
saying,
That's a lot of champions R's cooldown. Alright? Alright, and then you hit him with his all his E nerfs. The most recent E nerf. Where is it? Right here. Alright? E, thick skin. Gray heal was at 70% of all ranks. 30 to 100%.
all I'm saying, right, is if
That's
Riot
really bad.
hits him with one more nerf, PETA is gonna call up and be like, "Listen up, listen, dog."
Alright. And then here. So they've hit him with so many nerfs, right? But the worst part is Riot doesn't know how to nerf Tom Kinch. Tom Kench has never been picked in pro play for his E or for his Q, right? For one, they also made his Q stronger, so he's even more of a poke lane, because good job, Riot. And then they keep hitting his E. They pick him for the fact that he could eat his ADC and keep them alive. That's all. It's the only reason why he's getting picked. But you keep nerfing his E. You keep nerfing his Q. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything, Riot. You've literally done nothing to the champion.
Okay, so
Like,
that was a good, really good tangent. I love this.
I don't get that, dude.
But there's one, because so we have one more champion to talk about before we move on from the really bad. But there's one other thing that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about the difference between when Nico came out and versus when Silas came out.
Jesus Christ.
Because these two champions are completely different in play styles and how the champions are being treated.
Yeah.
Because I think Silas came out first, and then Nico. Silas is this champion that at first I thought he was AD, because I mean his playstyle looks like
Yeah, it does.
he's AP. Silas is a champion that you have to be absolutely on point with everything
Silas
that you
is
do.
such a
Not
good champion, dude.
you're fucking not gonna do anything, right? And then they keep nerfing him to the absolute ground, making him way harder to play. And then they make Nico a champion who can play pretty much anywhere. A champion who's that whole, what do you call it? That not camouflage, but the
The disguise.
the disguise
whatever
thing
it's
is kind of
or
useless.
passive.
Yeah.
Well,
Passive
it's
is-
slightly better now.
It's basically for like BM.
Yeah, well, okay, there was one actually, okay, on the disguise, there was one player who actually used it properly, and who could actually use it. And you could probably guess who that player was. It was the man in the mid lane, Faker. Faker was the only player who could use the Nico disguise properly. That's all. Nobody else could, because it was so bad, and it was so useless.
I think
But if it takes a player like
But-
Faker to
But
use it.
my thing about Nico, that you have this champion like Silas. I mean, all of his stuff, like you go look at his abilities, are like the super long dialogue, and it's like, you know, you gotta do all these things. You play Nico, and it's like, oh, what do you do with Nico?
Pressing
Oh,
and Q,
You press E, and if you hit, you press Q.
and then
You
R.
hit that, and you press R, and then that's all. That's really all you gotta do. Right. Listen to me, dog. Listen up. First of all, that's just Lux, a reskin of Lux. So
Yeah.
let's not talk about
Also
that.
a better Lux, by the way, because she can go through
Yeah.
so many minions, and it also gets empowered as it goes through.
Exactly. Well, not only is it better Lux, but you made a very extremely basic champion who is so basic that people started playing her AD. Started playing it on hit AD, and then it's like, right, I'm gonna need you to step your shit up.
They had to nerf her AD scaling, or her attack speed scaling by like one whole point. It was so bad.
Because no one's out here playing Silas AD, right? No one's out here playing all these weird fucking things with Silas. Silas is a pretty straightforward champion, even though he has all of his abilities are super weird and super complicated. But you make a super basic fucking champion like Nico, and then it's just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be able to do this and this and that and that. Sure, dog. Bet. Let me do it. But that's just
Oh, alright, okay.
think
so
Nico's
I
best
pulled
is
this
too.
up. Alright. Here. The fact that she was being played AD so much. So what they did to her was originally she had an attack speed increase of 3% per level and an AD increase of 3 per level. Guess what they did to her? They made it 1.5 attack speed percent per level to 2 AD per level. They also had to nerf the on-hit damage late game on her W by 40.
great balance team. But let's move on.
They also called it a micro patch.
Let's
Just to add on that.
let's move on, because it's only been really me, Chris. I want to get everyone in here talking. So I think there's one champion that will get everyone in here talking. Let's talk about Yasuo.
Oh yes.
Oh yikes!
Oh yes.
Oh no!
Yasuo's balance.
It's just hard to find him in mid lane when he can dash through every single minion.
Yeah, he
I don't even think the dash is the issue. I think the issue is that 3 autos and he'll be full health just about because he can just. It's just fucking gross.
His Doran's blade gives him more health regen than a bloodthirster. Pog.
I don't understand Riot when it comes to this champion because I feel like people complain more about Yasuo than they do Teemo.
Yeah.
I mean, Teemo, Yasuo deserves to get complained about more than Teemo.
Teemo is fine. Teemo's actually weak. 100%
Sure.
He's weak.
The thing about Teemo is that he's
It's
super
just annoying. Yeah.
So people complain about really annoying. When it comes to Yasuo, not only is he annoying, he's insanely strong and damn near sometimes broken.
Yep.
Because
Well, it's just if he gets 2 kills, he's an unstoppable force. Like,
yeah.
I think one thing they need to do with Yasuo, right, is, if I'm not mistaken, one of his abilities has a heal built in. They definitely need to.
Yeah, that's the one with the Doran's blade.
None of his abilities have a heal built in,
It's his Q.
but his Q applies on hits and is considered an
that's
auto
right.
attack. So he can
Yeah.
auto Q auto,
Yeah.
and that'll take probably half a second to send all of those off, and he's getting the healing from Doran's blade from that.
Yep.
So and his cooldowns are so short that he can just heal everything instantly with just a Doran's blade.
And then you slap on a bloodthirster and the motherfucker
Yep.
is impossible to fight.
And then he's literally never dying.
Yep.
So, and Yasuo's another just a really hard champ.
I completely disagree.
No,
He is
hold
so
on, let
brain
me-
dead easy.
Let me
Yeah.
finish what I was saying.
Okay.
Is a really hard champ for Riot to balance completely without nerfing to the ground. That's what I was going to say.
I can agree because Yasuo was supposed to be a champion that was played in the bot lane.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be an ADC, but then people were like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna take this mid lane and top lane."
Yeah.
So
I don't think Yas is that hard to balance. I think his main issue right now is his passive. He gets a shield just from walking
Yeah.
around.
yeah, the shield
I don't
is
think
kind
that's
of
needed at all.
insane.
That kind of makes him
Yeah.
broken in lane. Sure, it's really useful out of lane, and he needs it out of lane, but in lane, it breaks him. Because if you're not playing a ranged champion who has a long enough auto range to be able
You
to
can't-
knock that
can't
down,
proc it.
you cannot fight him. And 9 times out of 10, your jungler will not come help because it's Yasuo. He can just press a couple buttons and win the fight.
Can we do something to where Yasuo has to land a tornado, please, instead of having champions like Nautilus walk up with a point and click knockup?
That
Please?
I was gonna get into that, and
Because that is like,
subtopic is how do we fix the bad and the really bad? Right. So how do we fix these things? And with Yasuo, it's like, yeah, I kind of agree that they should probably change that because it's kind of insane. We can have a whole team dedicated to getting Yasuo to do his ult. Like you can have like a fucking Malphite, Cho'Gath, or like you can even have Silas. You can have fucking Singed, Scion. Like there's so many champions that do knockups.
the worst part is the point and click knockups, like Nautilus pressing R. That's not skill. That is him pressing one button, and then Yasuo gets like 5 kills from it. Make him have to lane his own tornado. Make him skill. So he has to lane his own tornado to then actually do something.
So going back to the good, actually, if there's one thing I will give right, and that's the fact that they made Pantheon's Q, his spear throw, a fucking skill shot rather than a point and click.
Yes, 100%. They need to get rid of point and click abilities. They need to be gone.
I kind of agree. Point and click abilities probably should go.
I think there are some that could stay.
Well,
Yeah.
I think, but like really long range point and click abilities should fucking disappear.
100%.
I personally think that what they should do is make it to where more skill, more reward, right? So like, say, you have a point and click ability, wood does less damage than something that's similar that's a skill shot, right?
But the problem with doing that is, say, let's take Pantheon and Yasuo. Yasuo's Q, you have to aim it.
Yeah.
That's why it does so much damage. You have to aim it, and it's got a pretty lengthy delay before it actually goes off. Pantheon's stun is a leap stun.
Yeah.
If they drop the damage on that, it would only be a stun. That's it.
Yeah.
While, say, Yasuo's Q, it's so versatile because you can aim it that if they change it barely or add more reward to it, it just completely breaks or
Dude.
throws the champion's balance into the ground so that
Just
they're useless.
imagine.
But something like a point and click, there's so much less skill to it that it's hard to change it.
Ooh.
I don't know if any of that made sense. I'm bad at talking,
I
but
understand. I understand it. There's one thing I forgot to talk about, and it persists to, I believe, only 2 champions. I guess 3 now, but the third doesn't really matter that much. And that's infinite scaling.
Oof.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We're talking about our good old boys Nasus and Vega. When it comes to infinite scaling, kind of insane. That both a Nasus and a Vega can be complete dog shit.
Oh,
trash.
All right. I have a story for this one.
And
I have a
just
story
sit
for this
lane,
one.
farm up, and then get to a point where all you have to do is walk up to someone and press Q or R, and you can win the game.
I have a story for this one. All right. So I'm playing ranked. Okay. We have an 0-12 Nasus. He goes 0-12 by then, but like right before the end of the game. But guess what? He never stops walking down top lane. Never. Ever. Never grouped. Never did anything. He is the reason we won the game. Because he ran down top lane so much, he got the inhib top lane, he got both Nexus towers, and then eventually won the game for us. Because he walked down top lane and went 0-12. That's great champion design.
I understand okay, so I'm trying to put my brain together and try to understand why this idea of an infinite scaling thing is in so for Nasus, it's pretty bad. But I think Vagar's is even worse.
Oh, it is. Vagar's is definitely
Because
worse. Because
Vagar's
AP
also,
is broken.
Yeah, because
AP is so broken late game.
And Vagar is also building as much AP as possible.
Yeah.
And then he also can build an item that increases his AP percent. Anyways, right? Nasus is kind of okay because all you really do is build Trinity Force, and the rest is tank, and it's like he's gonna press Q ton of damage to you, but really he can only do that to one person. So as long as you lock him down, it's like okay, it's manageable. Vagar has multiple abilities.
Vagar's gonna press R on you when you're full health and kill you.
Vagar will press R and you, kill you. Press Q.
I know exactly how they could fix Vagar though.
He will trap you and press W and do a shit ton of damage. And if he misses that, or if you're, holy fuck, I'm T1ing right now. If you're not dead by that combo, he's either gonna press Q or press R on you, and it's like he can do that multiple times too to people and completely change the game around in a team fight, and it's kind of insane. So I don't know, and I don't know what to do with a champion like that. I mean, I guess you could just get rid of the scaling.
Nope.
Nah, you can't get rid of it.
I mean,
what
he's still
really breaks Vagar is items. It's not really his infinite scaling, it's how items build off of it.
Yeah.
The way his scaling works is it doesn't just take numbers and add them on after the fact, it adds them before anything else. So he'll have, say, his starter AP, and then he builds up his stacks. Those stacks are added onto the AP, and then the items take into account what he has. What needs to happen is the items need to take what his base AP is, then do their damage and add on a percentage of what his stacks are, instead of just doing pure what the stacks plus base AP is. Because right now, Rabadon's on him is just busted because it does a lot more than just 40% increase. Because his stacks are added as pure AP instead of bonus AP. They need to add it as like a bonus, not a base.
Yeah, add it to the end of the damage result, not the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And make it a percentage damage.
I think, personally, that, that is part of the, a major part of Nasus and Vagar, right? Like, if we stripped away those two things...
Yeah, you can't get rid of them. They aren't champions.
Yeah,
no one's played them ever.
It gives it kind of I don't want to. It makes it rewarding. It makes CS a lot more rewarding one, and it kind of almost makes a mini game within League of Legends, if that makes sense. Like, see how many CS I can get to see how powerful I can get.
So
There's
I would
very
agree.
few of
Oh,
those-
so keep going.
there are very few of those. Like, a couple of the other kind of funnish mini games that they have in League of Legends is the special character interactions, like Jinx and Caitlyn in the bot lane with the cop and outsmarting the cop. What else is there? Rengar and Kha'Zix with the hunts, and then the fight for the Fjord, which is Sejuani and Ashe. So they're very few.
And Lysandra. You need Lysandra there too. You need Lysandra there too.
Oh,
You
do
need all
you?
three of them. Yeah.
So there are very few like little mini games within a game of League of Legends, and I feel as though both of those abilities are like little mini games that make the characters also a lot more interesting to play.
So I would agree with you. I'm
Until
agreeing with
Veigar
you,
hits
and
30 minutes.
yeah, I'm agreeing with you and disagreeing with you. So on one, I get it, but on the other hand, is that those mini games don't really have a standing within the game itself. They're just like kind of extra things that you can look at. Like, oh, that's cool, right? When it comes to Veigar scaling, yeah, you can look at it, oh yeah, that's cool, and then he presses R to you, and you're fucking instantly dead. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
And then he hits 30 minutes
yeah,
and he's
cool.
0-5, and then for some reason he's one hitting you for some reason, and it's like what?
Okay, so I think it's cool. Okay, so scaling for Veigar, I don't know. Okay, so I take it back. I don't think you should get rid of it. I definitely think you should change it. When it comes to Nasus, however, Nasus is a really weird fucking champion because essentially Nasus is just run down lane, press Q on tower. If anyone jumps to you, press Q, throw your E up, press W, maybe ult, press Q, press Q, press Q.
Press Q.
And it's fun to play for sure when you're fucking high stack and you're just deleting people, but it's also really aids the fight against, especially as a top laner when you destroy Nasus and then he's just like, oh, it's like 35 minutes and I have like 200 CS. Oh, I'm just gonna run at you. I'm gonna press W, slow you for 40%. I'm gonna press E, I'm gonna reduce your armor and magic resist, and I'm gonna also do damage over time. And I'm just gonna press a little button called Q, and I'm gonna do
The
half
delete
your
button
health.
real quick,
Yeah.
and you're gone. Sorry.
I kind of agree. However, like, I kind of agree, but you were saying earlier that none of those other get bonuses when they do. I know specifically the
They do.
interaction for
Rengar and Kha'Zix, they get another
Kha'Zix
evolve.
gets an extra evolve, and Rengar
Well,
gets
yeah.
like what
More
4
mag-
extra
more-
teeth.
Well,
if
I
it
was-
kills Kha'Zix.
I was focusing on
Yeah.
Jinx and Caitlyn and then the Lysandra.
Yeah.
The Lysandra and Ashe one also gives something. It gives their slows a little bit more slow. I think each of them give a little bit of something. I think the cop one gives a little bit more attack speed or something. But all those are bonuses, right?
Yeah.
And I personally think, I agree with you with, I think maybe that it does get outrageous sometimes. However, right? Think about it on the flip side. If you have someone that doesn't know how to play Nasus and doesn't know how to farm,
Yeah.
they're dog shit, right? They're
Yeah,
not
I-
going to be able to do
Yeah, I
it.
was actually gonna say that. The thing with Nasus is he does have a downside. If you cannot get stacks on Nasus, you aren't a champion. Which is why you can't exactly get rid of the mechanic. Maybe just slightly change it. Veigar, he doesn't have that downside. He is going to get his stacks for just doing anything in the game.
Yeah.
Nasus, you can literally get 0 stacks in a game. It is possible to get 0 stacks, or at least maybe like just 100 in like a 50-minute game. But Veigar doesn't have that. And that's the annoying part about it.
So we're moving back to, how do we fix the really bad and the bad? How do we fix the game?
Well,
Because so one thing I want to ask is, because there's another question, is League of Legends good game? Like, is it in a good place?
It's not in a good place.
Yeah, I would personally say it's not only is it not in a good place, but I think the only good thing about League of Legends is it's a game that all my friends play, right?
It's
Like,
not in a bad place.
If it wasn't for like essentially, everyone that I hang out with, y'all really, if y'all weren't on League of Legends, I wouldn't play it. I mean, League of Legends is kind of fun, but I'm also not the competitive person. I like Animal Crossing.
I would say, in my opinion, League is a good game in a bad place for one reason, because of this meta. This meta shuts down so many possible champions that could be played. For instance, all mages. So many champions just cannot be played in this meta because they're all assassins.
Yep.
That's really bad. Other than that, I'd say the game and the gameplay is fine. Until you get to our meta, and then it's like, this is horrible. This is unplayable. For a lot of the champions in the game. And that's how I feel. But I do think the game is good. I do still enjoy the game.
I do kind of agree.
I agree. I think the game's fun. It's in a bad state right now. I wouldn't say it's been getting worse, but I also wouldn't say it's been getting better. They've just been changing what's bad and what's good nonstop. They've just been switching back and forth. And I think honestly what they need to do to fix that is Riot needs to take an entire month and just not do any changes. What they need to do is get their balance team to play the game as much as they possibly can. Get different ranked people to give their feedback on the game. Do online votes on their site or something. Promote as much ideas for change as they can. Take all of those into consideration and then do one big patch to try and fix as much as they possibly can. And then go about things how they used to. They need to do something big. They need to change something massive because it's just these small changes or these slightly large changes just aren't cutting it. They're just not changing the game enough.
Another thing they could do is just stop touching the game for a while. Just let the meta stagnate. Instead of changing all these champions and saying, okay, now this champion's bad, now you have to change who you're playing. Well, now you change your playing because the champion's good again. Just let the meta stagnate. Whether it's in a good place or not, let the meta stagnate and until you finally realize this was an issue, and this was an issue, and this was fine. They have to do one of those two things. Otherwise, it's not going to get any. It's just going to get worse.
I agree. I agree with pretty much all that. One thing for sure they need to change is that they really, in my honest opinion, one thing I feel like they should really focus on is fixing the goddamn hitboxes.
I agree. Yes.
Yup.
During that time of like that 2-month, 3-month period of where they're letting them stagnate, fix all the hitboxes, rework all the champions that need to be reworked visually. For instance, Zillion. For instance, Lux. Yeah. For instance, all these champions need to be reworked visually. Just fix them.
There are certain champions that like you look at that champion, you're like that team is gonna fucking bust.
Yeah, you look at a Lux Q. Oh, you're actually 2 whole team modes away. Hey, you're still getting it.
You look at a Lux R. Sure, dog. Yeah. You're outside of it, don't worry, you still got hit.
Yeah, you still got hit. You're still dead. It's like you
look Morgana at Q missed you by a mile. Oh, you got hit. Is that a Fizz ult right all the way on the other side of the lane? Too bad it hit you.
Yeah. Blitzcrank Qs. Exactly. That hitbox is disgusting right now. Absolutely
they horrendous. Fixed it, but it's still not great.
Well, no. Okay, here. One thing actually in 9.20, they had to like hotfix because of the fact that his Q was going too long. It was longer than the actual hitbox.
Well, because they increased the range.
Yeah, but the thing was, it was longer than the range should have been. Like, kind of like how Nautilus' hitbox is. It says right here, 926 updates. Fix the bug where Blitzcrank's hook range was longer than intended against bigger targets. Like, same thing with Nautilus' Q. That hitbox is so much bigger than it looks. His Q range is so much longer than it looks. I swear.
Like, it's kind of insane that there are a lot of there's a lot of hitboxes. Of course, there's a lot of hitboxes, but there are a lot of hitboxes in this game that are just like so crucial to this game and how to play it that like are broken, right?
Oh,
Like all like not all of them, but like a lot of the hook hitboxes
yeah.
really gross. And like if you get hooked by a bad hitbox, no, you're fucking dead.
Yeah,
That could end the game.
as
If
a
you get hit-
player who plays so many hook champions, it's disgusting how many hooks hit that shouldn't.
If you
It's
get hit-
absolutely disgusting.
If you get hit with the Lux Q, that could be the end of the
Yeah.
game right there. That could be the end of the lane in the game. Like there you know, there are other hitbox. A lot of the hitboxes are good, right? There's not really, you don't really like, because of course, I mean, because they're good things, so you're not really gonna talk about the good hitboxes, but like you're gonna complain about those bad hitboxes.
All right,
Bad
here.
hitboxes happen a lot of the times.
Let's talk about one that I know for sure, one that Grant can get with. Fix Zoe's E hitbox, because I swear
Yeah.
it goes through people. And there's also
It
there's
does.
other
It
walls,
goes
too.
through people, and it's also so wide. Like sometimes you'll think you miss, and you hit him, and you
Yeah.
hit him, or
There's-
it'll literally go through someone, and it just won't hit.
There's some other
Doesn't make any
hitboxes
fucking
that like
sense.
they just like they're it's all I think it's all the line hitbox, but they just go straight through people. It's really weird, and it doesn't make sense because it like you could see it hit them, but it just doesn't do. It just says that I'm not registering, and that's all. It's like why? I watched it hit them, but it just didn't happen. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, do you guys have anything else to say about how do you fix what's wrong with League?
Not that I can think of at the top
Yeah,
of my
I don't
head.
think of right now.
Jordan glides, anything?
Nah.
Oh, fix electrocute. Nerf
Oh, yeah,
it.
that too. That too.
It's fucking busted.
Yeah. Electrocute's broken. That's honestly, you fix electrocute, so many assassins get nerfed. All of them.
Hmm.
And the whole meta changes from one small change on a rune. Or give assassins another rune they can take other than electric.
Well, they tried that with Dark Harvest. You saw how that went.
Yeah, it was broken. Everybody did. Hey, do y'all remember the time when everybody took Dark Harvest?
I do
You could see
remember that.
entire teams of just straight Dark Harvest because it did 60 extra damage every single time it procced.
I do remember.
Hell yeah, dude. That was fun.
I played support and brought Dark Harvest, and not even on champion that should have brought it because it was so broken. It was just so dumb.
So since we don't have anything more to fix, we're gonna talk about another thing. Subtopic is why is League of Legends addictive?
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
honestly, I
really-
have no idea.
that's a really interesting question.
I mean, the only thing I can think of as to why is because it engages your brain so much. You have to do so much thinking. And I'm gonna be honest, humans love thinking. And it's some fun thinking. So, I mean, that's all I can think.
My hypothesis as to why League of Legends is so addictive is because I attribute it to gambling. I think League of Legends as a whole model is basically just gambling, because when you like with gambling, when you win, you're on a fucking high.
yeah, that's what I
When
was
you
saying.
lose, you're like really fucking bummed out, and you're like, "Fuck, I gotta get right back in there so I can get a win on the high again." Because for me, like if I'm playing a ranked, right, and I'm winning, I'm on a fucking high. I'm like, boy, I'm fucking climbing off and hit goal, like, and then I lose, and I'm like, shit, mate, I just lost like all my LP. Like for me, if I lose 2 games of ranked, I'm done playing the game, because like if I keep going, I'm gonna hit back. I'm gonna go back to iron, and it's not gonna be a good time. So like that's I attribute like League's model as a game to gambling. That's I think it's so addictive.
I think for me, it's addictive to me because it's a game that it like what Grant said, it makes every single part of my brain work. And I think it's especially that way from a support position because you aren't just thinking about your lane. And it's support and jungle too. You aren't just thinking about your lane, you're thinking about every single possible lane in the game. When you go into team fights, when you're trying to ward, when you're moving around the objectives, there's so many things going on that it makes it fun. I like a lot of games like that. A lot of games that require a lot of thinking in many different places of my brain and on the map too. So like when I play support, I think it's really cool that I can think, okay, yeah, I'm gonna place wards here. So when they go for Baron, I'll be ready for it. Or I'm gonna place wards here so that we'll know exactly where they are. So if they're all topside, we can go bot side. That type of stuff. And I like that. And I think that's probably why League is fun for me. And addictive.
All right. Anyone got anything else?
Doesn't seem like it.
Grant, Jordan, Glides. All right. I have another question that I just added. I think is a very interesting question. Is the League of Legends community actually toxic? Because a lot of people say when you talk about League, they're like, one of the main things that people talk about, the reason why I don't play the game, the community's really toxic. And that's why they don't play it. Like I've heard that a lot of times from old friends. They're like, oh no, I'm not gonna play League because it's really toxic. The community is really toxic. But I want to ask you guys if you think the community is actually toxic. Well, okay, it's because every community is toxic. But do you think that League of Legends is actually like really toxic?
Oh,
I think
it's a good one.
I think League for me is a product of its own environment. And when you make a mistake in League, it's so punishing, it makes you want to flame the person. Right? And the problem is, like everybody does, everybody focuses on the negatives. Every single person focuses on the negatives first. So what gets promoted is the negatives of people flaming you for making a mistake. But what doesn't get promoted is for whenever you get those people, for instance, when I play support and I do a really good play, and I get my ADC saying, oh, this Thresh is carrying me. That makes me feel really good. But you don't get that enough, and it's not ever promoted. And I think that's why people think League is so toxic. Because there are good people in League. There are.
Mm.
But they're so rare. Or well, they're not even rare. I'd say they're average. I'd say it's more rare to get somebody super toxic than to get somebody like really nice.
Yeah, I would agree. I think most people are just like, I think most people are generally toxic. Like I don't. I think everyone who plays League of Legends is toxic, but the normal level of toxic. Like even our goody two shoes Jordan over here, who's always like, "Don't worry, guys, we got it." Like don't worry, it's just a good mistake. We got it. That is in a sense.
That is in a sense toxic. Yeah.
How's that by being like, don't worry?
Being overly positive in League is toxic.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, people always take it the wrong way.
It is. Okay. It is actually toxic. I for one, and I think I agree with like one of the streamers I watched, Swifty. If somebody is being overly positive, I hate that. Just focus on what's happening. All right, look, we messed up. We need to fix it next time. Don't say, "Oh, we got it next time, guys. We're really good at the game." No, it's fine. That happened.
We're really good at the game. I just say when I say don't worry about it, or like we got this, like.
Saying that makes people think that you're taking pity on them, and people don't like being pitied.
Well, I'm not. So, I think one of the main issues...
That's not your intention, and I get that, but that's not how people see it. That's why they consider it toxic.
Well, I mean...
Because...
That's how I am a positive person, and I'm not going to become toxic because people...
You don't have to. It's just, honestly, a lot of times, a way you can fix that is just by saying nothing. And I'm not saying that to be toxic. I'm just saying a lot of times if people actually do find that like really, really annoying, just stop saying it. Just don't say it. You can think it, and you could and yes, in a way it is so positive. Like the way you're trying to do it, it is positive, yes. But League is like those people who find that toxic have gone through so much toxicity. They find it almost sarcastic when you say that to them. Like when you say, "Oh, we got." Good try. People will sometimes take that as, you suck, try next time. Or try better next time.
Yeah.
And that's not what you mean, I understand. But that's just how people are in League.
I mean, the way that I see it, I actually, I understand what you're saying. My main point is that I actually think that in some sense, League of Legends is both less toxic and more toxic, right? So by implementing the new ping system, like the thumbs up you can do and stuff like that, they took out the words being toxic. They took out the you're awful, right? Or whatever.
Enemy missing.
Enemy missing.
Question mark things everywhere.
Enemy missing is the new "Are you okay?" Like,
Yeah.
do you know how to play this game? Essentially,
No,
And,
whenever.
and instead of saying, whenever you kill someone in the game, and you're like trying to like be, you're trying to be like, haha, killed you, finally killed you or whatever. It's not like, hey, you suck at this game, delete now, and all
Just
that
walk
shit.
up,
It's
just
like,
just
thumbs
stand
up,
on them and thumbs up,
thumbs
and
up.
then walk away.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, that's the. So I think one of the main toxic elements of League of Legends is the enemy missing
Yeah.
the question mark.
Yeah.
Because like I can't lie, when I see a fucking player engage in a 5v1,
Yeah, it's just, what are you
and
doing?
you're just
Question
watching
mark
by,
thing.
and then everyone pings them
Yeah.
question mark. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
Enemy missing is the greatest thing League
And-
has ever added.
And you can feel it in your blood when it happens when it happens in reverse.
Yeah.
When an enemy is like walks into a 5v1 and they die, you can just your spidey senses are tingling because you know the enemy is spamming.
Yeah.
It's just spamming that But yeah, I think I think the community's toxic. Do I think it's overly toxic? Not really. I think probably it's nowhere close to Call of Duty toxic. Because when your pro scene is just a bunch of dude bros yelling at each other and people allowing that and no one's saying, hey, calm down, like your community's probably pretty toxic. Like no one's like screaming and yelling at each other at Worlds. Like everyone's pretty chill.
Yeah.
But there are people BMing all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's the level of people are gonna BM you.
Oh,
People are
yeah.
gonna question mark you, but no one's gonna like fucking dude, you're fucking trash. Oh my! I mean, people will say it, but like if someone's screaming at you on text and being all kind of rude, you're like, oh, ported easily. You're gonna be like,
I love the BM of just tower diving, or fountain diving when the game's already over. For instance, there was a game. It was Dom 1 versus another team, right? Dom 1 basically stomped at the end, at the very end of the games, right? Because they just scaled.
Mhm.
They TP'd a whole minion wave with the Rysar into the Nexus, got another 5 kills. None of them took any damage because the whole minion wave was there. Then they ended the game.
Jesus, but
it's so good. I love when they do that.
Yeah. So I think we're good on that. We're gonna go into the second to last subtopic, which is it's probably a pretty quick one. It's just where does League of Legends go from?
I
The
think
place it's been going.
right now what they need to do is take a break. Take a break adding new champions. Focus on reworking your champions that are already just so bland and boring. Do your visual reworks, and then just let the meta stagnate. Just let it happen. Because that also points out where your main issues are in balance. While you're also fixing problems. That's what I say.
I gotta agree with that.
I agree.
I would say, I know this is definitely not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
I would say that Riot needs to Riot needs to stop working on bullshit side projects like the League of Legends fighting game, which we know is never gonna come out, and we need to actually buckle down and make a League of Legends MMO.
Yeah.
That's what I would agree,
Yeah.
because I love the story of League of Legends,
The
characters, and all
lore's
that
so
stuff.
great.
But you better believe the MOBA aspect of constantly fighting people all the time gets really fucking tiring. And I
Yeah.
just want to be able to enjoy this world and not have to constantly fight people all the time.
I'm tired of running the same laning phases over and over again. Like, please,
But
give me new things.
Grant, you got anything?
Bring back game modes.
I agree.
Bring back game modes and events and all that. Bring them back.
I agree.
We
Jordan,
should have gotten a new Star Guardian one, but we didn't.
Glides, you said it's in a good place. You said just do the same thing they're doing.
It's fine how it is. It's been working for him.
Respectable. One thing they for sure need to do is get those fucking virus ads out of Kiss Anime all the
You're
They
not
really need
wrong.
to do.
Also,
Oh,
Kiss
yeah.
manga.
I
Yeah.
actually do have a suggestion for Riot.
So what
I
do you got?
think they need to make like an auto chess type game.
Oh
Maybe
no!
where you
We are
Stop.
not talking
Stop.
about team fight
That is
tactics.
so
TFT's
trash.
garbage.
I literally didn't even have it on the bracket. We're not gonna talk about that
It doesn't
garbage bullshit.
deserve a spot. Doesn't deserve breath.
Like,
There's two types of players in League. There's your League players and then TFT players. And a lot of the TFT players stop playing League, not to be super critical of these people, but they stopped playing League because League was either uninteresting to them or they weren't good enough. So they moved to TFT.
Like team fight tactics.
again, team fight tactics is another one of the things that I don't like about Riot and League. It's
Yeah,
like,
because they split. Oh, also, okay, on this topic of team fight tactics, because this goes into what they
Jesus,
could
Jordan,
do
what have you done?
to
I
fix
think
the
they
game.
brought the
No,
old
this
balance
is-
back, by the way, Chris.
Did they?
I think.
I don't think they did.
I believe they did, because I think they only split it originally to start TFT.
Okay, yeah, because that was one of the major mistakes they did with TFT, was they brought the balance team, the old one, or I guess maybe the current one, I don't know, I'm not sure. But they said, hey, you're leaving and working on TFT. We're getting a whole new balance team to work on League. And then they made 3 patches that did literally nothing.
Yeah,
So-
those were the Tom Kinch patches.
Yep, the Tom Kinch patches that kept hitting him and also made Tom Kinch stronger in lane because they're really smart. So yeah.
Riot's making a lot of smart decisions. If you want me to be honest, I think a lot of the dumb decisions that's going on in Riot has to
Let's do what?
Tencent. Because I think Riot used to make good decisions, and then Tencent was like, hey, we're Chinese, we have a lot of money, we're gonna buy your shit, and we're gonna change shit. Okay. And then now they just kind of have to do Tencent said. So that's just my theory. That's just my conspiracy theory.
That's just your game theory?
Exactly. It's literally just my game theory. But we're gonna go to the last topic. It's a good juicy one. Get your opinions ready,
Oh no.
Ooh.
because we're gonna talk about the Riot Games gender discrimination controversy.
What?
Oh,
Is
yikers.
it really a controversy though? Like they did shit, dog.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know much about it.
It's-
I've just heard what other people say.
So it's a lot.
And it's fucked up what they
It's
did.
a lot. Essentially, I'm just gonna give you the essentials. Essentially, people were getting, of course, extreme. But not people. Women were being.
Wait,
extremely
hold on.
sexual.
Not people?
Well,
Not
I guess you could say
Yikes.
people too, because
Yikes.
because
You
people
call
were
women
getting.
not people.
Well, I was saying people as
I
in
know,
like
you're lying.
as in like
You're
men,
lying, you're
women,
lying, you're lying.
etc.
No,
right?
you're not fine. That was fucked up.
I mean, you're not wrong, but like,
2019, dog. You gotta calm that down.
anyways. Okay, so women were being female employees were being insanely discriminated against, like extremely. They were being sexually harassed. They were not getting jobs. They were being passed over for positions. when they
About
should-
time.
for promotions. And as the usual in the corporate workplace, we know it's just the normal thing that happens. And about 28 former and current employees at Riot Games were like, you know what? We're not dealing with this shit no more. So we're gonna go
No.
Kotaku, which, by the way, Kotaku, not a great place to go to, but that's another story. Went to Kotaku and we're like, hey, all this shit's going on. They got bro culture, we're being sexually harassed, this, that, and the third. And Kotaku was like, oh shit, sounds like money to me. All right, let's print the story.
Let's go.
Kotaku printed that story, and Riot Games got their ass. And I think people went on strike against Riot at the same time for forced arbitration clauses. which, yeah, Riot's not really doing too great when it comes to their employees, which I guess kind of makes sense as why there's a lot of dumb shit happening in the game right now.
Does make sense.
But yeah.
I mean, it's kind of interesting because Riot Games, right, was voted, like, if I'm not mistaken, was voted one of the best places to work, like, when I was just entering college, like I entered in 2013, but when I entered undergrad in 2013, it was like 2014 or 2015 that they were voted like one of the best places to work, and now, like, what, 4 years later, they're doing this shit, which is kind of interesting. I don't know much about what happened. I know that they had some wage difference between gender, right? And I know that they had a tad bit of bro culture, but I didn't know, like, what paper they went to talk about it and to air their grievances.
I mean, it was a lot of them, but Kotaku was the first one, and then everyone else reported on it. But yeah, it's just your normal story of, women and those of, women and, I'm trying to be politically correct here.
Those of color.
Well, yeah, people of color too, but I was gonna say women and.
That's not what you were looking for? Oh, yeah, it's my bad.
Your trans individuals and non-binary individuals.
Yeah.
Being harassed because the patriarchy and the men are on top, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's just, we hear about these stories happen all the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane that it happened at Riot Games. I agree. Especially because Riot Games is in California. I believe it's in California.
Yeah,
I
it is.
have
That's
no
why
idea.
everything's held in California. Yeah.
It's in West LA. Like, it's kind of like a super liberal place and super PC liberal place, and they're just like, nah, dog, we're just gonna catcall you and sexually harass you. You can't really do anything about it. Well, okay, dog. Me Too kind of happened, and we're not gonna stand for this shit no more. So I'm like, all right, I agree. Like, I don't really have, I mean, there's nothing really negative to say about it because good that Riot's getting their asses blown out, because, like, don't fucking sexually harass your employees. Like, give the people who actually deserve the promotions, like, regardless of their gender. Like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, I also agree with the fact that I agree with what you said. Also, I think that Riot should take it a step further and not only, like, treat women with respect, right? But also try to get rid of that bro culture, and anyone that keeps on with the bro culture and tries to keep on, like, harassing people. I guess is that what bro culture is? I don't know much about the term bro culture, but essentially
guy.
people.
Yeah, so bro culture is essentially like, so Jordan, you've been to college.
Yeah.
Right, you've been to college. You've been around the Greek fraternity life.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you get to the fraternities, and specifically the white fraternities, party a lot, very loud, drink a lot, very, very loud, abrasive. Yeah, dude. I'm gonna fucking chug this. I'm T1ing right now, but don't worry about it, because I don't know what bro.
What are you
I don't
talking
know how
about?
fucking white fraternities speak. Like fucking, like, what's that movie? Shit.
Party Animals.
Yeah, Party Animals. Revenge of the Nerds. The fraternity in that the fraternity in that movie. There's so many, like, fraternity.
Animal House.
There's so many, like, Animal House. All those movies, like that kind of bro. That's basically bro
Well,
culture.
okay,
Like,
I might just sum
like,
up.
locker room talk. I'm gonna grab her by the pussy type shit,
Yeah,
and then not get in trouble for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna sum it up like this. Anyone that I think Riot should actively try to squash any kind of any kind of environment or anyone that helps this environment where women can be harassed and not feel as though they're being heard, right? First of all, women are being harassed, and a lot of those women that were harassed, I feel as though they weren't being heard appropriately, and that's why they went to the media, right?
Mhm.
So they need to make an environment where women are heard and aren't harassed.
I think they could also stand to just get more women in higher positions so they get more respect in the workplace as well. I'm not saying purposely push them up higher, but I mean give them the promotions they deserve, give them the higher positions so that they could look at this, at least have one example of, okay, you know, maybe we should respect them a little bit more. This person has a lot of power at least, right? Because even in a bro culture, like, they would look up to somebody with higher power than them and say, yeah, we probably shouldn't mess with them. Right? And then that could eventually just spread to being all women in the work. Like, you know.
That's big facts. I agree. One thing I always say is that, you hear a lot of times where, like, there's not enough women in, there's not enough women in certain areas. Not enough women in IT. There's not enough women. There's not enough women in STEM. There's not enough women in the corporate world. I'm like, this is kind
that
of
way.
Yeah, this is kind of a double-edged sword. It's like we
we push those boundaries.
Yeah, we definitely need more women in these places, but we also need women to want to have to go, to want to go to these places, because a lot of women are still going for women jobs. They're going for teachers, they're going for nurses, going, caretakers and all these things. I'm like, okay, that's cool. We need those people. Like, we're also facing with the reverse issue. We're like, okay, well, now those jobs are being dominated by women, and any men who want to go to those jobs, or we're seeing that trend, right? That trend that's happening in male-dominated spaces also happening in female spaces.
Well, also,
we need to say, okay, we need to scrap all of this shit and just say, work wherever the fuck you want to work. Do what you want to do, right?
But women seeking men's jobs, I think sometimes aren't taken as seriously, right? And men seeking predominantly predominantly female-centered jobs, right, or centered jobs, aren't taken seriously either, right? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. The only thing
I think
is that if you're a men's job, like, you're more likely gonna get sexually harassed, this, that, and the third. Versus if you're a man, you're not get a job, or you're probably just be looked down upon, and that's really about it.
But what I think they have to do is, I understand it's gonna be bad for the first part. I mean, look at women in society in general. They had to keep pushing until they finally pushed through. In the men in the female jobs and women in the male jobs, they aren't pushing enough. I feel you have to. I understand you're gonna get talked down upon, but you have to take that to the chin and just get all these people to go push with you until you eventually push past that wall. That wall's not gonna get any smaller.
Oh,
it's gonna get bigger.
No, by no means am I saying that men shouldn't be take predominantly women a predominantly women like women workforce job and vice versa because of not being taken seriously. I'm saying that that's problematic in the very beginning, right?
It is.
And therefore, you should try to take away that culture where it's no longer problematic. Right?
I just don't know. We can't do that though. You have to break the culture.
Yeah,
you cannot just say take it away. You have to break it.
The reason why that culture exists is because of that dominance. Because things are being male dominated or female dominated.
Yeah, so we have to balance that out, and we have to do that by force.
Yeah.
We cannot sit here and let that happen.
Like imagine like a workforce that's like mainly male dominated, and there's like one woman, and like the is being constantly sexually harassed. Like, who's she's gonna go to? Is she gonna go to the male HR?
Yeah.
Who's probably gonna be on her side? Like, no, right? But if you have a workplace that's like, I'm not gonna say 50-50 because that's unrealistic, but you have like, a good mixture of both men and women and non-binary individuals. It's like a woman's being sexually her ass, she has multiple people who she can feel comfortable in going to. It's not just like a completely male dominated space. And the only really way to do that, to break down that whole like that structure, is to say, okay, we need women to go after these jobs as well. We need women to go into these
we need
careers.
men to go into
Because-
teacher positions, like that type of stuff. Like it goes both
We
ways.
need
to push that.
I think my wording was kind of off there because I also forgot the word dominated, right? So I kept on saying like woman centered. I meant to say like male dominated jobs and female or women dominated jobs and jobs that are dominated by men. And I think like it's gonna also it's gonna just take getting people, first of all, getting men and women dominated jobs and higher up in those jobs, like in the management, in order for that culture to change. Because
it is going to be rough.
Yeah, but the thing is that again, we're all talking about the same thing here. But the thing is that it's not gonna change overnight. There's no way it's gonna change overnight. There's no way. This is a process that has to change over time, right? And so what we're looking at now is that we're going back to the riot thing. That women were being looked over promotions because there were more men in their bro culture. But like if you have more women in the office who are way more
women
qualified,
start getting more
it's like women start getting more respect and women start getting more promotions and women start moving up higher. That way we start breaking down that dominance.
I'm not gonna say them leaving was a bad idea, but them leaving didn't help. Them leaving, it probably helped them in like short term, but it's not gonna kill that culture. That culture's going to stay if you just leave and just make it even more male dominant.
Yeah, I am.
Right, because if you look at like I'm gonna attribute it. When we look at like movies and like cartoons and things like that, we look at these. We look at people for a long time. It was very white dominant, male dominated, and then people were like, "No, fuck that. I want to be represented." So people started pushing more and more and more and saying, "Okay, I want to represent for Black people, represent for Asian people, Latino people, and represent for all these different groups." And now we're seeing a bunch of different diversity. It's still not great, of course.
Like for instance,
now we're seeing
like Get Out. Get Out was like pretty big for that, honestly.
Yeah.
It had a male protagonist against white people. Basically, that had never been done before. Or it had, but like not in that big of like a impact. Not in that big of like a spotlight.
Yeah. And same thing with with us as well. You say the main characters are a Black family. We have a Black father who's not your stereotypical Black man. He's like super nerdy. He wears glasses. Like we have we have a Black mom who she doesn't have straightened hair. She's not your stereotypical Black woman. We have a Black son who's super weird. We have a Black daughter who's kind of stereotypical but not really. Right, they're the main cast, right? And that stuff like that hasn't been seen before. It's kind of we have to do similar things in the workforce and say we need to do things that haven't been seen before. We need to
we need to do stuff that people were scared to do before.
Yeah, you can do a mass influx of women joining into the corporate world or the game industry. You can do that, but like, is that going to change anything? We need to have women have the desire to say, I want to move up in this industry, right? I don't want to just like be complacent because you can go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say a lot of that has also with how women are still perceived in the workforce, because a lot of times why women aren't viewed why women aren't looked at as much for upper management positions is because how people view the genders after having kids, right? So for example, after a woman has a kid, right, usually it's like, oh, this woman has a kid, they have a kid to take care of, that's a lot, they don't need an upper management position, right? Whereas if a man has a kid, it's a lot of, oh, he has a kid, he needs to put more food on the table, we need to make sure and get them a higher position, right? And I think a lot of times, kids having kids is a driving factor of how like women how you know the chances of women getting an upper management, right? And that's fucked up, right?
Yeah. So essentially, all we need to do is just delete all children from the world, and we won't have this problem.
Yes. Yes. Delete them all. Delete his fetus.
Delete them all.
Delete his
Another
fetus.
thing
And we won't
is
have these
maternity leave. More women take maternity leave than men.
Well, I mean,
That's one of the main reasons why companies
Well,
are
I
such
mean-
assholes about things.
I mean, yeah, I would hope
Yeah, I would hope too.
more women would take maternity leave
Yeah.
than men. You're gonna bring up some questions about trans identity. A lot of men are taking maternity leave.
But what's so wrong about a guy taking maternity leave? See?
wouldn't it be
Well,
paternity leave at that
Yeah, it'd be paternity
Yeah.
leave.
paternity?
Oh well,
sorry.
I don't know the wording. I'm not very smart. All right.
Yeah, it's been this whole thing is like a shit like some of
We're-
it's been a shit show because
We're getting a little off topic, so let's reel it back in. Yeah, that's just our opinions on the Riot Games gender discrimination thing. Yeah, it's kind of trash.
It is real trash.
Definitely is real bad.
Not even kind of trash. It's very
They
trash.
should cut down on the culture that help that come to such an issue, right? They should cut down on that.
As well
whatever
as push more
propagated
positions for women.
Is propagated the word I'm looking for? Propagated
Probably.
that culture?
I would think so.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. I'd say so. But yeah, that's about all that we have on Legends. Any closing statements, final opinions?
Yeah, I have a closing statement.
What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got?
This was a good first cast, and I think it's only gonna get better. And slowly, we're gonna be less stumbling over.
Highly possible. I'm just waiting for the topic where Grant and Glides are going at each other's throat. We're sitting back.
Yes.
That's the topic that I'm trying to.
to. Oh yes.
Bro, my dick fell off.
That's what I'm
All
trying.
right. Honestly, League sucks.
I agree.
Yeah.
You guys down to play?
League bed.
Yeah, no, we can play. Yeah, we can
Yeah,
play.
let's play right now.
Let's play League.
Screw it, let's end the podcast. Let's play.
Let's end the fucking podcast and play some goddamn
League of Legends.
boys. Let's fucking